disco.
This ain't no country club neither.
This is RVA. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
To the 11th episode
Oh my gosh,
of
11. Oh la la.
In the
Dungeon.
It's been a very busy 2 weeks as usual, but I feel like once it heats up, that's when the events get rolling.
The events heat up.
I guess
What you been up to?
Okay, well, I'll go into River Rock on Browns Island. I went to River Rock 2 weeks ago with my friend Sarah. We dressed up as bluegrass belles. No one else was as dressed up as us, but that's per usual.
Your pics were so cute, though.
Oh, I know. Oh, I love those pictures. We saw people walking on the tightrope over the river. We shopped around the local vendors. We saw tons of dogs, and there was this contest for the longest jump into a pool for the dogs, and it was so cute. And it was just so funny watching some of the dogs not jump very far at all, and some of the owners would get mad.
Of that event.
Then it was really hot, so I bought a humongous fan, and I'm not talking like a little tiny one. I'm talking about like maybe 2 feet when you spread it open. But thank God that they had those because we were dying, and we sat in the grass. We drank Richmond lager, and we ate island noodles. And the next day, I went back with Haroon, and we saw our friend and a former guest, Miscellaneous, of course. We
love her. She's everywhere.
And the best part of the festival was seeing the bands play. So I'll tell you, the bands that played were Fight Club. They played like pop punk, and they played like a screamo version of Natasha Bedingfield.
I thought you weren't supposed to talk about Fight Club.
This is a different Fight Club.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. And then Pharaoh Sestaire, amazing male vocalist who I legitimately thought was Michael Jackson. And I'm like, is that Michael Jackson? And it wasn't him because he's dead, but it sounded like him.
Are you sure he's dead? No.
I know. Haroon, if you're listening. Nah.
Is it a hologram? No.
And then we saw Aaron and the Wildfire. Beautiful and funky singer who sings about body positivity. She literally has the voice of an angel. Sierra Hull, bluegrass female vocalist who gets down on the mandolin. And then the last one that I saw for a second was Neil Francis. I didn't get to stay for the whole thing, but he was funky on the keyboard, and I love some keyboard.
Yeah, baby.
And then the week after that, I went to Virginia Beach to celebrate my friend Jessica's 40th birthday.
Ooh, happy birthday, Jess.
Even though she looks 20.
She really does.
She literally looks 20.
Yep.
I keep saying literally. It rained the whole time we were there.
Literally.
I saw that.
Literally.
Doing that, yes.
Hella bad wind advisory. Nobody was on the beach, but we made the most of it. We bar hopped. My favorite bar that we went to was Johnny Manana's. They played old school reggae the whole time. Our bartender, who was also a surfer in a one-man band called the All Billy Band, which I will tag, was slinging. I wish he was. Slinging some amazing drinks. We had Orange Crushes, of course, and Bloody Mary shots. He took a Bloody Mary and split it into thirds.
Oh, yeah, I saw the little ones. Yep.
What else? We saw some very questionable characters, as anyone would, on VA Beach. We also went to Waterman's, which, in my opinion, was very overrated, sadly. The food was not good.
The food is never good. You don't eat at Waterman's. You only get Orange Crushes. That's the
learned
first
my
rule of Waterman's.
Yeah, I learned my lesson. And then what else did we do? We went to Beachside Social, which is very similar to RVA's Tang and Biscuit. It had shuffleboard, but it was packed because of the weather. So we played Taboo. We also hung out on the Oceanfront Hotel room's balcony, the one that we stayed at, and we blasted music, Justin Timberlake, because Jess loves Justin Timberlake. We drank, we shouted at people down below us, we watched the huge waves, and I've never seen waves like that on Virginia Beach. And then in the morning, we went to Badass Coffee, and I highly recommend it.
Sounds like an eventful 2 weeks.
Yes. Elizabeth, take it away.
Not as eventful. I continued recovering from my stabbing. No, just kidding. My neck surgery. The highlight was last Friday. My goddaughter Caitlin, she is graduating high school and she's off to JMU in the fall. Yay,
Go
go
Dukes.
Dukes! Yay. So her mom had a graduation party for her, and it was really fun because my best friend is one of 7 siblings, so they're all married, and with that combined with children and then friends and stuff, it was just a great time, like catching up with everyone you hadn't seen in a while. And the barbecue there that was catered was so good. I hadn't had it before. It was from Deep Run Roadhouse.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I guess it's over on Southside, but I definitely would recommend it. It was delicious. Usually, like buffet kind of stuff, I'll be like, I'm just gonna have a little taste of stuff, because you're like, eh. But it was really good.
We need to do a barbecue tour of Richmond.
Yes,
Ooh, that'd be a
I'm
good
all about
episode.
some barbecue. Although my favorite place is Claude, R.I.P. Smoky Pig, Ashland. Wah.
Meh.
And then I'm really excited. I didn't do much else, but I'm very excited about this weekend for the Greek Festival. As you mentioned, it's going on today through Sunday at St. Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Cathedral, which is off of Malvern Avenue. It's been going on since 1976.
Wow.
They have tons of food. It's free to get in, so you just pay like a la carte for your meal.
Nice.
They also have a drive-through if you don't want to deal with like trying to find a table. But it's really fun if you do go in because they have like authentic music, like bouzouki playing, traditional dance, Greek dancing. There's shopping. There's wine and beer. Proceeds go to multiple charities. So if you want to hear more about that, you can just go to Facebook and type in Greek Festival RVA, or you can go to their website, which is greekfestival.com.
And you might see us there.
Yes, I'll be there tomorrow. Liv
there
will be there
Saturday.
Saturday. We're spreading the love out. Lee, maybe you want to go? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
What were you up to?
No good.
As usual.
Yeah. Well, we lost power last weekend, so I ended up going to.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. It stayed out for like a day, so
My mom
So
did too. Yeah.
I ended up hitting restaurants whether I wanted to or not. So I went to Roma's again. I got to tell you, Roma's. It's like for pizza, I give them about a 5 or 6, but for pasta, they're 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah. So I'm still looking for Richmond's best pizza. I used to go to pizza.
I found it.
Where is it?
Sparrows, and I found it recently. It's a hole in the wall place over by Horse
best.
Pen. It's
never heard of that.
amazing.
Oh,
What about also the fire
it's
one
cheap.
that you like? That's,
River City Wood Fire.
that one's
yeah.
really good.
Both are
Oh.
amazing.
Yeah, I
And
don't-
Pizza Bones near me is phenomenal, and their homemade ranch.
Sparrows is the cheapest pizza you'll ever find, but it's so freaking good.
Good. Oh, well, then I'll be there.
But I've never met a pizza I don't like, so I don't have it.
Well,
I have.
well, it's funny you talked about visiting, playing a board game Taboo, because the other place, I had a friend visit from out of town, and she asked if we had any adult toy stores here in Richmond. And I said, yes. And so I said, well, we have Taboo, another locally owned business.
Yeah.
And I took her to Taboo. She was looking for a very specific item. We found it, and
What was it?
it's something called a rose.
Oh, I know that.
You know that?
Yes, I don't have one, but I've seen this. I don't know.
I mean-
I
Facebook.
think I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, it was on something, but it like sucks on your clit.
Oh my
right?
God, it's been no.
Okay.
Sorry,
It,
I'm trying to inform people.
okay.
Sorry,
Education.
Mom. Sorry, Mom.
We consider ourselves an educational podcast. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, is that what? Okay. I asked her for a full report later because from her hotel room.
Sorry, Mom.
So apparently it got positive reviews.
Aye.
Four
It's like
roses.
I hadn't been there in years. It's like one of the most
Every
embarrassing.
rose has its thorn.
Ooh, or does it?
It's always weird though because when I was there, it's like I ran into people I knew. It's like that's. Well, it's like at first you feel embarrassed, but then you realize, okay, you're here too, so it's not so bad. You
That's
telling
hilarious.
you telling me, I telling you.
The last time I tried to go there was during the pandemic. It was as it was winding down, and Olivia, Matt, and I had been imbibing, and Olivia, of course, did not want to go in because she's a good girl.
Is it
Good Christian girl.
She was going to wait in the car, but
Yeah.
I got ready to go in, and there's a huge sign that says you have to have a mask, and I drunkenly could not find my mask,
God,
and
you
I
were
got
so
so pissed, and so we just drove
Well, they
away.
sell masks, the leather
Angrily.
ones. Yeah. Well, remember, it's like Taboo and Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, right. But
Wait, hold on. I think there's a thing on here. Well, I don't know how to do it. And what else? Lee, did you do anything else?
Not really. It's
Well, I do have some good news about
Ooh.
the podcast
Oh,
that we all know,
yes.
but we want to tell our listeners, and we want to thank you so much because we wouldn't have accomplished this without you guys listening, because we made FeedSpot's top 35 RVA podcast as number 10 somehow, and it's all based on data, and it's legit, and I clicked on the list, and we're right there. It's a big accomplishment. And there was some, I wish I could have the list in front of me, but there were some really good podcasts amidst us. So yay for us.
yay! Applause also to all of our adoring public.
We
Yes.
love you.
Thank you all. Like and
Please-
subscribe.
Please continue to rank us, or at least give us thumbs up and rate us.
And spread us around like butter.
Yes, or anything else that comes to mind.
Nothing but love. Nothing but love in this room here.
Taboo.
We do support Taboo, local business. Okay, I'm ready to introduce our guest. Are you
Do it.
guys? Okay.
Yes.
So today's guest is one of RVA's most known burlesque dancers, Scarlet Starlet. The Twirling Temptress always aims to entertain. Whether she's twirling tassels, hoops, baton, or fire, the audience is sure to be teased and pleased. Scarlet enjoys performing a vast array of acts, from silly to sexy to powerful. She has been seen at festivals across the country and has won a range of awards, including Best Act, Most Classic, Most Wicked, and Best Variety Act. She is a burlesque and hoop instructor at RVA Swing, the producer of Burlesque Right Meow, and co-creator of the RVA Burlesque Festival. So without further ado, let us welcome Scarlet. Hi, Scarlet.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So glad you could make it.
Thanks. Excited to be here.
This is a very cool guest. I have a lot of questions for you. I feel like we bring
And
people
she's
in
like
here.
the third blonde.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
We got
Blondies
3
all
blondes in the dungeon tonight.
It's hot in here.
Lee, how do you feel? Okay, so first question. Are you from Richmond? If not, what brought you here?
I am. I was born in Richmond, actually near the lakeside area.
Oh, cool. Where'd you go to high school?
Hermitage.
Oh my
Uh-oh.
gosh.
Yeah.
I'm a
Welcome home.
total tiger. No.
My boyfriend went to Hermitage
Oh,
and
yeah?
his sister did too. What year are you?
Lady doesn't.
Oh, yeah,
tell
you
her
don't have to
age.
say
No,
if
I
you don't want.
legit don't remember. I'm 2006.
Oh my gosh.
I think.
First, I
that's
thought
right.
you were my age. You look super young. Like super young.
It's not a secret.
Okay, so you're a burlesque dancer. How do you define burlesque?
Well, burlesque at its core is the art of the striptease. It can be a lot of things, but it also doesn't have to be anything in particular. It can be sexy, it can be funny, it can be weird and scary. And I like to kind of dabble in all of it. Sometimes I like to be a hot lady, and sometimes I like to be a weird, nerdy character or something scary and freak the audience out. It's a good time.
I did see one of your costumes, like one of your more recent costumes. It was like, was it from? I don't remember. It was like some bag, like spooky guy.
Was it the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth?
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
doing that one. It's really weird.
I love that.
That's awesome. Before we get more into it, can you tell us a little bit about the history of burlesque, how it got started, its transition over the years, kind of like that progression?
Sure.
I know that's a broad question, but
Well, really, just really vaguely. Cabaret kind of started over in Europe forever ago, like late 1800s, early 1900s. And that wasn't so much striptease. It was more like vaudeville style
like
acts.
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah,
Kinda.
kind of like that. And different variety acts as well. And as it kind of made its way over here, like there was striptease added to it. And sometimes it was not what we think of as striptease today. It was like removing a glove or showing a shoulder for a really long time. And at the time, it was very scandalous to show
a shoulder.
a shoulder, an ankle. And it just evolved over time. Burlesque kind of died down, I think, around the 70s, 60s, 70s. You know, strip clubs and porn kind of
Took over.
took the scene. But then it had a revival in, I want to say, around the late 80s, 90s, and really has just been coming back pretty strong since then.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I definitely realized that I've heard more about it. And actually, my husband and I went to a big burlesque show at the National when we first started dating, which was like around 2012. And since then, I don't know if just my ear picked up on it more or what, but I definitely realized it's become more popular around Richmond.
Yeah, the scene has definitely grown. It was pretty small. I got started back in 2011, and the scene was pretty small back then. Really, the only shows we were seeing when I got started, it was just at Gallery 5 for the most part. There were shows at Canal Club prior to that, but we actually legally aren't able to do burlesque striptease acts at Canal Club.
What?
There are some complicated ABC laws here, and they make it really difficult for us to find venues to do shows because you are, by the law, these are very, very old laws, but you cannot strip or do a striptease act in a place that has a liquor license. So beer and wine is fine. So that's why we have like a pretty good relationship with a lot of breweries. You see more and more burlesque happening in breweries because we're allowed to do it there. There is a caveat. So if it's a museum, an art space, or gallery, music hall, I'm trying to think. I think there's a couple more, or a theater, then you can do burlesque there even if they serve liquor. But somewhere like Canal Club, and actually the National, I was trying to talk to the ABC board about whether we could do the burlesque at the National or the Broadberry recently, and they could not give me a definite answer because technically,
Wow, that's interesting since I saw one there. Maybe
Yeah.
it was like not on
that
their
was
radar.
before the crackdown. Like,
Okay, yeah.
'cause it used to happen at Canal Club, and then
Like a recent
And I
crackdown?
saw
it was like 10 years ago, 10 or
Grandstaff
12
and
years ago.
Stein does it too, don't
So-
they? But have you ever done it there?
Yeah. And actually, I'm getting ready to host a show there on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
But we have this really funny loophole that we have to do if we are in a venue that serves liquor. So you have to have a little more covered. Everything below the areola has to be covered. So you can do like a little half bra, or sometimes we'll do like kind of a mesh bra and put the pasty on top. And then you have to have more of your butt covered. So you can't wear a thong. You can't show like your crack, basically. You need more coverage there. And then so the coverage thing is part of it, and then the other part is you can't technically strip tease in front of the audience. So what we do, and it's the most fucking ridiculous thing in the world, we put a curtain up.
Oh my
And
God, I remember this.
You
Yes,
go behind
yes.
the curtain and you remove something,
Oh my
and then you
gosh.
come back less clothed, and the audience doesn't know what happened, because you can have less clothes on, but it's like the act of taking it off is the striptease.
Oh my word.
So we'll get away with taking off gloves, and if we take off like a piece of fabric or something, we'll do that in front of the audience. But if you take off like a bra or a skirt or like an actual clothing item, we'll like go behind the curtain and we'll take it off, and then magically we come back out and we're less clothed. So that's how we kind of work around that.
That is so interesting. I did
Some
not.
of these old laws are so ridiculous. It's
Really
like, can we just
stupid.
go back through and
Yeah.
just throw this
my
crap out?
friend Jessica works for ABC. I have to ask her all these things now.
I have friends in the belly dance community, and one of the things it's like even if a piece of clothing accidentally falls off, it's like warning, warning. It's like because it's like
Morning.
clothing came off in a place that serves alcohol.
Okay, next question.
Face might explode.
You'll go to hell. So how did you get into burlesque? How did it all begin?
So I didn't really know what I was getting into when I first started it. I was a competitive baton twirler for like 13 years, from when I was like 10 years old until I think I was like 23 when I stopped competing. And there used to be this event at the Hat Factory, which I think is something else now. I don't really remember what that venue's turned into, but it was called Revolution, and it was always on a Tuesday night, which was super weird, but people turned up and turned out for it. And it was a bunch of DJs, and they'd have performance artists come in and do different stuff there. And I applied as a baton twirler and did that a few times. And I met hoopers there. I got started with hooping there. And I also they didn't have burlesque dancers per se, but they had someone, Deanna Danger, that did burlesque, but she was doing go-go there, and she taught classes. And I was like, I'm going to take some classes and see what this is all about. So in my head, like, I had seen go-go dancing. I hadn't actually been to a burlesque show or seen burlesque before. I did not really know what it was. And then I got to this class, and I was like, we're going to do what? So yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
Okay, that leads into a question I didn't think of. What is the difference between go-go and burlesque?
So go-go, generally, there's no clothing removal, and go-go tends to be more ambient dancing. It's not necessarily like an act. Like, you can go-go dance for like 15 minutes.
You don't have to
any
be
music.
choreographed.
Right. And a lot of burlesque is choreographed, or at the very least, you have like a set costume that goes with a particular song, and maybe you have or ideally, I like to have like a concept or a storyline or something cohesive that ties the act together.
So like when I go to a club and there's people in cages and dancing, is that considered go-go, or is that like something else? Is that just cage dancing?
I would call that go-go / cage dancing. I feel like a lot of people do, like, I know Fallout does cage dancing, and a lot of those are go-go dancers, so yeah.
Not my sister. I don't have a sister.
I was like,
what? My cousin was a professional go-go dancer in LA, and she did something called Little Miss Nasty, where she would like, it was like a metal bar, and she would get up on the bar and like shake your head, and it was really awesome though. But kind of reminds me of her.
I mean, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, I've never seen a place like that other than that one. So
Interesting.
look it up, people. Little Miss Nasty.
That kind of leads me to another question. What is your process with coming up with a performance? Like, does that change if you're hosting or producing a larger show, or like RVA Burlesque Festival, or get me into your headspace?
Well, generally, I have a bunch of acts, and depending on the event and where I'm performing, I'll kind of pick what is the best fit. So if I'm gonna be on a teeny tiny stage in a little space, I'll probably do like a little bump and grind act. If I have a big stage with nice lighting and the works, I'll do a bigger, more choreographed, more. Yeah, just larger scale. Sometimes I'll use the bigger props. Like,
Sure.
I'm not going to do hoop or baton or use a big giant weighted veil in an itty bitty teeny space. But if I have the room, I love to do that. So, yeah.
Nice.
Do you have any burlesque inspirations? Because the only one that I know that's like very famous is Dita Von Teese.
Yeah, I feel like she is definitely the one that everybody knows.
You're like, damn it, I don't want to hear about her anymore.
Huh?
Oh, I was like, damn it, you don't want to hear about her anymore.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding.
I love her.
No, I like her too. But
I don't know a ton about her. I mean, I've seen some videos of her performances, and they're definitely very like high glam, which is very cool.
And the martini.
Yeah.
I like
big-
that
big
martini glass.
props and opulence. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time picking just a few, but there's just a ton of incredible performers from around the country. For me, I would say Lola Vanella, who was from St. Louis or produced. She does still produce or co-produce a festival in St. Louis, but she also lives in New Orleans now and does this show called the Vanella Bordella, and it's more of a theatrical kind of thing, and she does some singing in it, and she has a variety of dancers, and it kind of tells a story with that particular show.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We need to
Makes
go.
me want to do
Some R&D, some research and development down in NOLA.
it. Okay, so do you dance to any certain kinds of music? What's your favorite?
I don't have a particular genre that I stick with. I love pop music. I like some new metal. I like rock music. I like to shake it up. I don't know. I don't like to pigeonhole myself too much with that. Yeah.
Does it all depend on the venue or, like you were saying, the scale, kind of like what you want to do? Because, like, I would think like more theatrical lends itself to a larger space versus like metal, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It just kind of varies, and we have there's often theme shows. Like I produce a monthly show that doesn't have a theme. Anyone can do anything they want in it. Like this Saturday coming up, I'm doing a show that's all metal themed. So it can just depend on that. That's less of the space and more of like the vibe that the show is going for. Yeah.
We should go.
I know, that'd be fun.
So where do you typically perform in Richmond? Like, where are some of your like frequent spots?
So every month, the second Friday of every month, I produce a show at Strange Ways Brewing on Dabney Road. And I also I teach classes, and my student showcases are there as well. There's a lot of burlesque that happens at Gallery 5. I produce a few shows a year at Firehouse Theater. Another troupe called New Rodeo Caledonia has been doing shows at Richmond Triangle Players. Ellie Quinn Presents does shows at Coalition Theater, and just started a new show at Basic City Beer Company. And Ellie does the Grandstaff and Stein show
It
too.
is so interesting to know that fact that burlesque dancers dance at a lot of breweries.
Yeah.
Because that's like where you have to go. I never knew that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, the National needs to like figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah.
They're missing out. How many shows a year do you do? It seems like a lot.
It varies. I would say so June I have a lot coming up. I think I'm doing like 7 shows in June,
Wow.
but normally like that's like a really heavy month. I would say it's normally like 4 or 5 a month.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Sometimes it's not that many. Occasionally I'll have a month where I only do like
We're like, we can only do the podcast every 2 weeks because we're so busy. But that's a lot of gigs. I like it. You mentioned the classes. Where could we take said class?
Yeah, I teach classes at RVA Swing, and I do a variety of different classes. So sometimes I just do like 4 weeks of burlesque choreography, which is just dance movement. We're not actually stripping in class. It's just, sometimes people just want to exercise and dance and feel good. Or it can also be helpful for if you are a performer and you just want some more moves to add into your routines or your style. And then I do a full beginner workshop that's like 8 weeks long. And in that, we do a group routine that they perform, and they each make their own solos, and we kind of workshop them together.
I kind of want to do that.
Yeah. And then we do a student showcase at the end of that, so they get to put their work out there that they just made.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. Oh my gosh, I'm getting like inspired.
I know.
Okay, so here's a fun one. Where do you get your costumes, or do you make them, or that must be so much fun?
It is fun, and it's also, for me, it can be a stressful part too. I have made a few costumes from scratch. A lot of times I'll buy base pieces and then modify them. So, like, maybe I'll buy some type of top and install a zipper. Maybe I'll buy some pants and then cut open the sides and put snap tape in them so they're tearaway pants. I'll often change, like, snaps or clasps or something to make it come off easier, because a lot of stuff you buy off the rack or off the internet is not necessarily made to be sexily stripped out of. So yeah, I'll just do modifications on a lot of things. I do like rhinestoning stuff. That's kind of therapeutic. Just
Ooh,
glue
You have
it.
a bedazzler?
Yeah.
We love a good bedazzle on Oh La La.
Yeah. This kind of feeds into that too. Like, what makeup do you stand like for being on stage, or do you have any really good like makeup tips? Like your
Your eyelashes are amazing.
eyelashes are fucking on point, but like a cat eye, do you have any like tips for doing that? I know all my female listeners.
Just give us some makeup tips.
Yes, give us any makeup tips you have.
I don't have any particular makeup brands that I super stan.
Wow.
Cause you're like you're looking good, baby.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
she
you.
has
Yeah,
she
I'm
has like
that face is beat, baby.
beautiful glitter eyelids, and you have like the most amazing eyelashes.
Well, and your skin is gorge.
Oh, well, thank you.
You got to post that for the fans.
we will.
Yes.
We always do.
I don't go super all out on makeup. I have a couple eyeshadow palettes that I got from Sephora that I'll go back and forth on. As far as like regular eyeliner, I just use like e.l.f. from Target. All the glitter stuff I get from Beautiful on Chamberlain. I don't know if y'all have ever been
Oh,
there.
I've never seen that.
Big
no.
pink building. Well, it's amazing. They have a ton of costume jewelry,
Ooh,
and
that's awesome.
wigs, and glitter makeup, and they do have the big eyelashes. So the most important thing for me to put on is the big fake eyelashes, red lipstick, and the glitter. That's my
It
go-to.
pops on stage.
It
Yeah,
looks so
yeah.
good. Yes, I love it. So you
I feel
said beautiful.
Yeah, it's BEAUTI-FULL.
We'll put it on the show notes. We always tag
and
everything.
we will be going there because that's right up
And
our
we're
alley.
going.
We are obsessed with over the
Big.
top looks.
It's really fun. They have some cool clothes there too. So
Nice.
Okay, this is another fun one. What is if you feel comfortable sharing, what is the craziest thing you've witnessed as a performer? Have you like had a crazed fan or like had anything like, I don't know. Like, you tell me.
really not too much. I mean, I've definitely seen some wild acts over the years, but as far as people go, the people that come to burlesque shows are the best people. Like, occasionally someone will get too drunk. Occasionally we'll have someone that heckles the host a little too hard. But for the most part, they are the most supportive and uplifting people. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a comedy show where they're like, the audience is kind of like, you
I
need to
hate
make
that.
Me, have you?
laugh.
Me as a comedian.
And like, they're not there to have a good time. But I feel like burlesque people, and I actually do have comedians come in. I usually have like one a month for my monthly show at Strange Ways, and they're always like, this is the best audience ever, because they want you to succeed. Like, they're there to have a good time and to be supportive. So
Because that was my next question. I was going to say, are people ever creepy towards you? Because you are like on stage and like men can be creepy. We all know this.
Hey,
Women could be creepy
And women.
too. We'll,
yeah, and
we'll throw
women.
that out there.
Yeah, but you know.
yeah, for the most part, not really. Occasionally I'll get like a weird Facebook or Instagram message from someone that is not someone that's been at a show. I feel like there's been a couple times where actually women, I think because they are women, they like feel like it's okay to like touch you or like
Yeah.
get a little too personal with
Yeah.
you, but for the
Hate
most
that.
part, not really.
That's good. That's really like good to know.
Good for you, Richmond.
Thank you,
respect
Richmond.
Boundaries.
Well, we always say at the beginning of the show, we set some little rules, and one of them is that consent is mandatory. And really that means if the performer is going through the audience, you should not be touching them. And it also goes both ways too. So if we're doing a floor show where we're going up to somebody and if it's just too much for them and they like don't like that one-on-one attention, we tell them, just look away, and the performer will take the hint and go up to someone who's like,
That's good.
That'll be me.
No, it makes the community like really respectable knowing that.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to. What is your favorite thing about burlesque, and what is your least favorite thing, if you have one?
I think my favorite thing is probably just the artistic expression of it all. Like anything that I'm feeling, I can kind of turn into an act, or if there's something I really love, something I'm passionate about, I can make a piece of choreography about it. As far as things least favorite thing, sometimes costuming can get really stressful. If I'm trying to make something from scratch and I'm not an expert seamstress, I think that part can be intimidating. Or I've like bought kind of an expensive dress and then had to rip a seam out to install a zipper. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't let me fuck up this dress.
I was gonna say, do you ever like ruin anything while you're performing on accident by like ripping it off?
I've definitely damaged some things, but not beyond repair. Like snaps pull off all the time that I have to resew. I have torn a couple things, but not awfully. So
That reminds me, has anyone watched the mermaid documentary on Netflix?
Not
Because
yet.
I'm obsessed with being a mermaid. I would like to be one.
Liz was one of those
I
kids.
love swimming and I love anything ocean, but this one mermaid goes to an event and she only brought one tail, and it's like a new guy assisting her, and he rips the zipper off, and sadly it's a children's party, and so she has to keep like sitting hidden in the back because she doesn't want to ruin the surprise of like being a mermaid. So then she has to wait for the guy to like drive back home. So I can only imagine like the shenanigans that happen with burlesque as well, because you guys' like outfits are just as fragile some of the time as mermaids' tails are.
Have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone is gonna have one at some point in time. And depending on the act, if it's like a fun little cutesy bump and grind or like a floor show where you're kind of flirting with the audience, you can even like go up to someone in the audience and like be like, can you help me? And you can play it off and be really cute with it. It is harder if I'm doing like a really artsy choreographed piece where I can't play it off really cutely and I need to get the piece off and then jump back into my choreography. That's a little more challenging. But I mean, yeah, you just kind of have to be prepared for it. It's gonna happen.
You gotta roll with the punches.
Improv. Okay. Wait, do you have one?
Oh, well, I was going to go back and say, what would be your advice for someone getting into burlesque then? Like, should they take the intro class, or should they, like, if they're really into it, just like go for it and take the inspo from wherever they're taking it from and just sign up for something? Or how do you even get into the circuit of burlesque? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do teach the classes, but that's definitely not the only way in. You can just start making acts and recording them. I definitely recommend going to a ton of shows to get started, just seeing burlesque, seeing what's out there and what's possible, all the different styles. And I get asked that question actually a whole lot. But yeah, my monthly show, I always have a rolling application open for it, and sometimes people just pop in there and send me a video that they've made of an act that they've created, and if it's good, I'll throw it on stage.
That's awesome.
One of the cutest things I saw at a burlesque show was the stage kitten.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
I should tell the audience about what that is.
Is it a cat?
I wish we could train a cat to pick up clothes. But no, a stage kitten is basically a stage hand, but they're a little more involved and interactive in the show. They are setting up all the acts, so if any props need to be preset, and they also go behind and very cutely pick up all the stripper droppings that have been left on stage. And a lot of times at the beginning of a show, we'll do something called burlesque for people that haven't been to a burlesque show before. And it's just kind of to get them warmed up, because we always encourage the audience to cheer and applaud and make lots of noise, appropriately. And appropriate cat calls. And so the kitten will often like come up and take off a glove, and then we'll get the audience to cheer really loud for them, and then maybe they'll turn around and like do a little booty shake or something, and that the audience will again erupt in applause for them. Yeah, and that just kind of sets the tone for the show and gets everybody warmed up, especially if there are people that haven't been to a burlesque show before.
Can any gender of person participate in burlesque?
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely very welcoming, and I have met a lot of different people, women, men, non-binary folks, anybody. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's awesome. I honestly haven't seen a male
Me
do
either.
burlesque. I would be interested.
Oh
to
yeah,
see
we've got several in Richmond.
Okay.
And
I just
definitely
haven't hit up the
around.
right spots.
Okay, so you said that you are a co-founder of a burlesque festival in Richmond. What are burlesque festivals like, and where are they held? Is it like a camp out event?
No, it's not a camp out. It's a multi-day event. So our first year was supposed to be in 2020. It was in March of 2020.
No.
Yeah. So
I can be the sound machine now.
a week before it was supposed to happen, we had to cancel it. And that was originally it was going to be Gallery 5 on Thursday and Dogtown Friday and Saturday. Then we were going to do it in 2021. Things still weren't great yet. 2022, we consolidated it to 2 days, and it was at Dogtown Dance Theater, and it just brings in performers from around the country, and we had some from Canada too. Come in. It brings different burlesque here, lets people from other places or performers from other places experience the Richmond burlesque scene too. And then this year we had it at Thursday night. We did Strange Ways Brewing as our little kickoff show. And then we did the Robinson Theater for Friday and
nice.
Saturday. And next year, we actually just got everything lined up. We'll be at Strange Ways on Thursday again. Ember, which is a new venue they're building on Broad Street on Friday. And then we'll be at the Bird Theater on Saturday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what month is this occurring? Or
It's
do you
gonna
know
be-
dates yet?
Yeah, it'll be April 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Mark your calendars, people.
Mark your calendars, and we'll give you a reminder in the show notes.
We might be performing. Who knows?
Maybe I'll be a kitten. Okay. Before
I'm ready to take it off.
before I wrap up my questions, unless they have more. Okay. So, what is something you wish you could tell your younger self in the burlesque scene?
I feel like when I first got started, I got a little too obsessed with constantly making a new act for everything instead of really honing in on a few and polishing them and working them and traveling with them. And I mean, now I do have like a billion acts now, but yeah, I feel like a piece of advice I always give new performers is to hang on to your acts and keep working on them, keep polishing them and growing them, instead of being like, all right, I got to make something new every time I perform.
That's good.
And then also, does anyone have anything else before we ask where we can follow Scarlet, where we can support her?
I just have one other one. What would you say would be a good just starting move if you wanted to do a little private burlesque for your partner?
For your lover.
A good
For your lover.
starting move.
Like a little ditty that you could do, like, like a little shtick. Like what's fun, like just having him pull off a glove, or like
Like the art
maybe
of-
doing the fan. Like how would you? What do people need to do to get out of their heads and like have a little fun at home?
I mean, I always feel like chair dancing is really fun, and like maybe doing like a fun little lap dance
Oh,
could
yeah.
be
I like
could
that.
be a
A
good
chair
place to
and
start.
yeah.
Or just thinking about being more conscious when you take your clothes off. Like, I always am telling the new students, I'm like, think about how you're going to remove every item of clothing. Like, what can you do to make it more unique so it doesn't just look like you're taking your clothes off to put your pajamas on and go to bed at night? Like, what can you do to make it more interesting? How can you slow it down?
That's so
yeah,
true.
like being really conscious about the way you take it off.
Yeah, because I'm like, I've been with you for 11 years. I don't need that lingerie. I'm just getting naked. So maybe I should try to put the lingerie on.
Okay. So Scarlett, where can we follow you and can we support you in the burlesque community in Richmond?
You can follow me at Scarlet Starlet RVA on Instagram and Facebook. It's like facebook.com/Scarlet Starlet RVA. You can also follow Burlesque Right Meow, which is my production company, I guess. And you can follow RVA Burlesque to find out about all the burlesque that happens in the city. So there's Ellie Quinn Presents, there's New Rodeo Caledonia, there's Afro Tees, there's a couple other new producers that are starting to pop up. Poppy LaFay just produced their first show. Santabella Spark and Darcy Dazzles are about to produce their first show. They're called Spark Dazzle Entertainment. So, yeah, definitely check out all the good stuff that Richmond has to offer.
Cool.
Yeah, baby. And I know you mentioned you have something coming up next Saturday. Anything else like big on the horizon that we need to mark our calendars for?
Like I said, every month, the second Friday, I'm at Strange Ways Brewing producing. There's so many shows coming up, especially this month in Richmond. So follow that RVA Burlesque
Awesome.
And if
Instagram.
and I'll be sure to include everything everyone needs to know in the show notes, per usual.
Yay.
Funny questions.
Yes. Well, I always like to kick it off because you asked. I mean, you kind of walked into this one. Before the show started, Scarlett asked if she could curse. So I have to go back to my favorite question. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh God.
But we can just hear yours because we've heard ours a billion times.
I mean, I guess it's probably fuck. I feel like that's the one I say the most.
Good old standard.
It's so versatile, and we've asked that a lot at shows to kind of also get the audience comfortable. My favorite answer that someone ever gave, though, usually it's fuck, but someone said dick whistle.
Oh my God!
I was like, wow.
Thank
Thank you for that. I don't even know what that is, but I kind of
Do they whistle?
I don't know.
I'll stop you.
Blow on them hard
I'm gonna
enough.
try later tonight. Hello. No,
You blow my whistle,
baby.
Okay. Let me find something funny here. Okay. Hold on. In the event of an emergency,
Oh Lord.
what item would you add to your personal go bag? Some object with deep personal meaning?
Oh shit! I don't know. I don't know. Probably snacks. I don't know. I just like snacks.
A crab leg.
You gotta have food to survive.
I'd grab my guitar.
Does it
That
can
one
it
guitar,
be
that
a
guitar.
living being?
Object. Let's think object. So, something that means something to you that's like, I'm going to save this one item.
My baby blanket.
Your baby blanket?
Oh,
Guilty.
Aw, God, I guess it would probably be like a photo album because
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Oh, yeah.
looking back at like
Gretchen, yeah. My wife
like
would grab
photos of my grandmother and grandfather. I need to have forever.
Yeah.
Lee,
Uh,
do you have a question?
oh, no, that was it. I do have a question for you. For vacation, for relaxation, are you mountains or beach? You could like both, but there's one that calls out to
You're
you.
forced at gunpoint.
Yeah, you have to choose mountains or beach.
I do like both, but mountains for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. The beach for me, I'm too fair. Like I just get too hot and burned.
Yeah, I obviously burn. I burn very easily too. And I love the mountains. I love West Virginia.
West
yeah.
Virginia.
It's quiet.
But I would have to go with the beach because
Yeah, you're
I'm a mermaid.
Beach bum.
part of your world.
Don't get
Maybe
me
that'll be
wrong.
my first burlesque thing. I'll be a mermaid.
Cool.
Okay, I've got another fun one. If you could start a club for something silly, what would it be?
A club for something silly.
Like I love Cheese Whiz, a club, which I do.
I don't know. This is a hard one.
Oh, this is a hard one.
Oh, is this a brain buster?
That's what she said.
It is. I'm having a hard time with the funny questions. I mean, I love horror movies.
Ooh,
I-
yeah.
Ooh, yes.
yeah. That's not silly per se, but
Well, I'll join that
something
club.
I
I love.
like.
That's a good
The
one.
kazoo club for me. Let's all annoy people with our
Oh,
kazoo.
I love that. I would join that.
Lee, what would you start?
Oh, see, you already took mine. It's like I would do a horror
Kazoo?
movie club
Oh.
too. Yeah.
It's true. Lee, let's take you inside the studio. There's a Pinhead signed picture over there, which I covet.
Who you calling
I
Pinhead?
have my Halloween menagerie up top there.
Yes.
Yeah.
A fan.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Okay, this is a funny one for Scarlet because she's obviously talented at a lot of things. You do baton, you do hoop, you do burlesque, you do dancing. Okay, so what's another thing that you're talented at? Something obscure. Can you do anything weird?
Like, can you roll your tongue into a
or turn your
weird
thumb
thing? And you're
backwards
like,
or
yeah.
something?
I can do the tongue thing though.
Y'all can't see it, but she's doing weird stuff with her tongue.
I think that's all I got. I don't know
Gorgeous.
if I have anything else.
Do y'all remember the guys who used to turn their eyelids up
no, no.
in like elementary school?
Yes,
la, la, la.
God.
I am
Oh.
not
That
listening.
freaks me out, bruh.
Disgusting. Can't do that. Disgusting. All right, does anyone have anything else before Lee gives it to us?
I think it's that time. Give it to us, Lee.
Okay, but this time you're going to come as you are. Strange news this week. In Kurt Cobain's broken guitar sells for nearly $600,000.
Wow.
And yes, now you'd think that was a lot of money. Kurt Cobain's black Fender Stratocaster is covered in scratches and chipped wood. The names of his former band members are written on it, misspelled. And the guitar itself, which is once smashed and put back together, is no longer playable. But it sold at Julian's auction for $596,000.
That's wild. I mean,
Here's a quote from the owner. Items from Kurt Cobain or Nirvana are becoming more difficult to obtain. Well, obviously. But if you think, but I did a little research. You think that that's a lot of money, but turns out that's far from the most expensive music items sold at auction.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sure some Michael Jackson or Elvis stuff, right?
No, number one,
Britney Spears.
Kurt Cobain's guitar from MTV Unplugged sold for $8 million.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Michael Now, number 3 on the
MJ.
list is Michael Jackson and Bubbles' statue.
Oh,
Sold
Bubbles.
for $7.5 million.
Bubblesy. Wasn't that the chimp or whatever that used to hang out?
Sorry, Haroon, but recently Haroon asked me, what band was Kurt Cobain in? And I'm like, oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
Oh, come on. Let's see. I have a list right here. I think you're Generation Y. Aren't they? Isn't Nirvana like
Gen
your,
X.
Are you
No,
X?
Nirvana's Gen X, baby.
I'm a
holding down
millennial.
Gen X.
I've got the list right here. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
these millennials and zennials don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Excuse me.
You were basically a Gen X person.
I know. I am like.
You're my age.
No, I'm older than you. I'm like your mom's age.
Oh, that's right.
It's true,
Olivia,
you are. Yes,
just
it's
missed-
true. You're older than me.
You just missed Nirvana, right?
I did. He died the year I was born.
My God, I remember watching MTV News on my home phone with my dyed eggplant hair, shaved in the back,
MTV
in my
did,
Jankos,
MTV did news.
crying over this.
Aw.
Yeah, Kurt Lauder.
Oh my God, that was so great. I remember when he first introduced Guar.
Yes.
Yes.
Hashtag Richmond.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Guar.
All right.
Okay. It's everyone's favorite time.
Yes, and we'll let our guest go first. Is it
Everyone's-
time to
Guess Lee's name.
I was trying to make a list of all the names that have been. I'm up to like the 4th episode, but
I'm just going with some freaking pedestrian guesses now because
That's
I
right.
feel like we've gone crazy on
I'm
exotic.
gonna do some like what I consider burlesque men. What their
Oh.
names would be.
All right. Maybe I'll do one of those.
So y'all don't know his name either?
Nope.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's
thought
the fun of it. I really hope we never
I'll
guess
put it
his
this
name.
way: I've been married for 34 years. My wife has never called me by my first name.
What? Okay, and also for the listeners, if anyone's new, if we guess Lee's name, we get a $25 gift card that we must spend at a local RVA business,
Okay.
restaurant, shop, whatever your choice is.
Okay. Now, our guest.
Miss Scarlet.
Yes, Scarlet.
Preston.
Ooh, that's a good one. It has not been
Nope.
guessed. I'm pretty sure Andy.
Oh no, no,
Too pedestrian.
Oscar.
no.
Oh, do we get more guesses?
You-
Oh, I
everybody
thought
gets
we
three.
were-
get
Everybody gets
three.
three. Everybody gets three.
Austin.
No,
Orpheus.
no,
Hector.
no,
Orville.
no,
Amos.
no. Boy, I would hate to have that name on the school bus.
Anus.
Amos and Andy.
Francois.
No. Okay.
Damn it, another week into the trash.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get another one so we can.
I can't. I have to use the button.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna make a list, and I'll tell you. Hey, I will say this: you got closer than anyone's gotten yet.
Ooh, I'm
I won't say who got close,
Oh,
but
Lord.
It was me, I can tell.
oh yeah,
No, it was me. Fisticuffs.
she can read people.
All right. Well, Scarlett, before we say bye-bye, can you tell us once again just the main socials that our listeners could follow you on?
Yeah, follow me at Scarlet Starlet RVA on Instagram. You can follow RVA Burlesque on Instagram and Facebook, and Burlesque Right Meow.
Awesome.
Right, meow. We love cats, so we
That's
love
a
that.
meow, right?
And
R-I-G-H-T, meow.
PLF, they're very into the meow meows as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, it would be a good marriage.
I feel like you've performed with PLF. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, actually, before I got started with burlesque, I did some fire stuff back when there used to be fire
Wow.
outside of Gallery 5 like every
Yep.
month. They did just recently restart it.
I went.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Next-
yeah.
Like
Well,
fire
we're-
batons and stuff.
I guess tomorrow's First Friday.
I don't think they have it tomorrow. I think they are bringing it back in October potentially.
Okay,
I don't know. Don't
awesome.
quote me on that, but I thought that's what I heard.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, we interviewed Ryan Bowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love him.
Aw.
You're sweet.
Yes.
And you are too. This was so much fun.
Thank
I
you. This was
know.
fun.
Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you.
It's been
And
so fun.
final shout outs.
I would say, well, do you have anything, Lee?
Roma's Restaurant on Staples Mill and Taboo.
And then for us, the Greek festival going on this weekend, tonight, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. Liz,
Deep Run Roadhouse, I would like to shout out as well because the barbecue was top notch. And I'm trying to.
River Rock.
Yeah, River Rock next year. Everyone, get your antennas out for that, and then
And let me shout out those bands one more time.
Oh, yeah,
because they
and-
were absolutely fabulous.
also while you're looking, Barcelita, we're going there this weekend, so they're always a good brunch.
It's Liz's
We'll
birthday.
tell you about our shenanigans. Yes, it's my birthday month. I'm a
birthday,
Gemini.
Liz.
That's why I'm crazy.
Everyone say happy birthday to Liz. But anyway, shout out to Fight Club, Pharaoh Sister, Aaron and the Wildfire, Sierra Hull, and Neil Francis. Amazing bands.
And
All
then-
local.
Yes, and then as always, do you have any recording needs? Perhaps a CD you want to burn, or a gift you want to give? A pod? Not on our night because we're booked, baby. But if so,
Yeah, they own me on Thursdays. Yes.
We own you, right, meow.
right now.
So if you have any of those needs, perhaps Lee Dungeon Studios can help. Contact Lee on Facebook at Lee Church. He's amazing. All right, guys, it's been a blast. Thanks so much again, Scarlet.
Thank y'all.
We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Ciao.